Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Enlightening Your Way. I'm your host, Nancy Lombardo. We are airing on the official Lilydale Assembly Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm a leaseholder here in Lilydale and the president of the Church of the Living Spirit, which is an independent spiritualist church here on the grounds of Lilydale. I'm a military veteran, retired police detective, fitness and yoga instructor, and wellness is my passion. This show is a combination of my many life experiences and features various topics and guests to help enrich one's mind, body, and soul on your pathway to healthy living. My website, Wellness with Nancy Lombardo, and my motto is protecting and serving your well-being. And I'm so happy to introduce our special guest this evening, Dr. Sushma Hallock, also known as Dr. H, much easier to say, and she is also known as the Rainbow Bridge Medium. She is an intuitive animal communicator devoted to helping people deepen their connection with their animal companions, both living and those who have crossed over. Through energetic connection and intuitive guidance, she serves as a bridge between you and your beloved companion, helping translate what they may wish to share through feelings, images, sensations, and messages. And as a loss and grief specialist, she also holds space with compassion and sensitivity for individuals navigating the loss of animal companionship. Her clients are located all around the world, yet no matter where they are, she connects heart to help foster meaningful understanding, healing, and connection. And find out everything else about Dr. H at her website, therainbowbridgemedium.com. And welcome. Thank you for being
Oh
here
my
today.
gosh, thank you. I loved your intro for you and for me. It was absolutely beautiful.
You're so sweet. So for our viewers that are just tuning in and may not know more about you, would you like to explain a little bit more about you than what I read?
Yeah, no. So my full name is Sushma Devi Agam Hallock. And I am an intuitive medium, but my specialty is animal communication. It all surfaced a number of years ago when my husband and I were trying to have a family, and it went on for like 7 years, and I did absolutely everything. And then you come to a point where you're like, okay, we're done. And it was through that experience that I learned through channeling that I was an animal communicator, and I just ran with it. I think that when spirit says, hey, this is what you should do, you're like, okay. and then off you go. But yeah, it's, life is good. I love being an animal communicator. I love being able to connect with, fur parents and their animal companions, to just have, I see myself as a translator, really, to be able to create that energetic bond.
Well, I think that story alone of you trying to have a child for so many years could relate to so many people just on that level alone.
Yeah, it was a really, I think there are millions of women out there, millions of families that are trying, and I do not wish it on anyone. And it was actually, my PhD is in sex education, and it was through my husband that he was the one that encouraged me, because again, I think that as a woman, if you're trying to have a family, when they're done with you, you're then, now what? And I really want to be there. In addition to being an animal communicator, one of my dreams is to be on stage and speaking to thousands of women and motivating them to really tap into their own intuition. So this is just a really nice space for me. Just feels good.
Well, imagine that doctor in front of your name. You were very left brain, so you had to work to get into that right side of your brain, correct?
Yeah, and it's very interesting, because I don't think a lot of people realize that if you're a type A, or if you're very left brain oriented, this is my opinion, that you will be really good in this world of intuitive mediumship, and especially trance channeling. And I just put those two words together, because you get to sit down, energetically, to have a cappuccino. You allow your human to sit down and just relax. And then your spiritual side, as they say, rises and just connects with our true self, our spirit self. And it is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to discover and to work through and to train. And well, I can't say enough.
Well, that's what I love about yoga, and the lotus flower, because it's all about opening and open yourself up, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. 1,000%.
So was there, I know you talked a little bit about how you became an animal communicator. Was an actual person, or what first opened up that door to even think this was a possibility?
It's a great question, actually. So I remember it was years ago, over 10 years ago, and I started my journey in New England. And so I was exposed to people like Lauren Rainbow and John Holland. And John Holland would teach at the Journey Within. And I wanted to go to a class with him and Janet Nohavec, but the class was booked. But they were advertising for another fellow, and his name was Tony Stockwell. And I thought, oh, okay, let me go give this guy a try. I didn't know who he was. I just wanted to take a class. And yeah, Tony actually changed my life. I think, when you find, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And he's been my teacher ever since. And the class, I can't remember exactly what the class was, probably intuitive mediumship, but there was a part of it where we got to practice trance channeling, and it was through that. And I remember to this day hearing myself say, and Tony said, just allow anyone to come in. And you're like, oh, okay. He says, you're in a safe space. Everything's going to be okay. And that's the ultimate form of trust, when you go into that state. And I heard the spirit say that this is what I was going to do. Oh, sorry. I gotta chill. So,
it's real.
Yeah, it was so incredible. And, I was like, what is going on? And then it was that journey of really trying to have a little one. And, but I had always come back. The red thread for me was being in the spiritual world and learning more about my skill as an intuitive, as a medium, as an animal communicator. Yeah, it was just absolutely beautiful. I think, like you said, in terms of the lotus and unfolding, allowing it to unfold, but still taking care of it, giving it the water, giving it the proper light, ringing the bell, the energy to raise the vibration of your flower, you as the human.
So was your doctor work before this came into light?
So it was actually during this. So I have always been a professional student, and I'm very proud of this. I think it's very South Asian that we continue, being in school. So I have 3 undergraduate degrees, two masters. So I have a master's in anatomy and neurobiology from BU School of Medicine, and I have an MBA from Questrom, again from Boston.
You're an overachiever.
Yeah, definitely an overachiever, but it's all good, girl. I take it, right? And yeah, then later when we had completely wrapped up with the IVF, my husband found a sex coaching certificate. And I thought, okay, this is a good thing because I'm a teacher, from Toronto, and, I could teach anatomy and physiology. And then it was through that program, that certificate, that the director of my graduate school came to give us a talk. And then that's how I found out about it. So I was in a space with therapists and counselors and all these wonderful people that do such important work in the sexuality field. And my path was education. And so that's how I became Dr. H. And it just feels right,
Sounds like a natural flow.
It was definitely a natural flow. And I think, again, it just lends to, your soul's calling. What do you need to be doing? Teaching and talking about, tough things when we lose a animal companion, or if we are unable to be a mom in this particular lifetime. And people don't see, well, how do those two things relate? I think the red thread is the trying, the wanting, the grief. Those things are powerful. So to be there to help someone, I think that's
powerful. I'm sure you're aware we have many, many counselors, doctors here on the grounds of Lilydale. It seems to be a natural.
Natural fit, right? You find your way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that.
So how do you feel the bond between humans and animals? How do you feel is incredible, their deep soul connected? Is there a difference between humans and animals?
I think that's going to depend on the person you're speaking with. From my perspective, I think through my years of practicing, when you close your eyes and you tune in, it is a soul to soul connection, a soul connection to, Mary Jo, the human, or, reaching out to a horse and feeling that horse's soul and why are you here? And it's so incredible. I think that one of the things that a number of people actually don't know is that in this lifetime, I do not have an animal companion. I've never grown up with animals. I am actually nervous if you put me in a room with a number of animals, and people are like, how does that work? And this is when it comes down to the trust and what is your path. I do not bring I try not to bring bias in when I'm doing the work. I think my joke for me has always been, I've been training like a karate kid. That's kind of like a very old school reference, waxing on and off.
Oh, yeah.
Realizing that all of my education, especially, like, I know I'm not a vet tech, but when they show me the image of stomach, I know the stomach. When they show me the abbreviation of OA, osteoarthritis, I know that the little fur baby that I'm working with may have osteoarthritis. I feel it in my body. So not only do I have degrees, I also did a diploma in massage therapy. And so I can feel, I will say, the right hand is my right paw, the left back, I can, it's just wonderful how Spirit really says, we're going to put you through lots of school. You're going to actually feel what your fur animal is feeling, to then be able to translate that and to tell that parent, this is what's going on.
I find it interesting that you don't have a companion at your house.
Not at all.
Wow.
Nope.
Interesting to me. Sure.
Yeah.
You work both with the living animals when you're doing messages and the ones that have crossed over? Yes?
I'm sorry, say again?
You work both with the living animals and the ones that have crossed over. Do you feel that there's an energetic difference between the two?
For me, no. It feels just as beautiful whether they are present or if they have crossed over. It's... Again, I believe that everything is energy. And as an animal communicator, I understand the energy, the frequency, the vibration. So for me, I feel no difference. But I don't think, and every animal communicator is very different in how they would probably explain that.
You do consider yourself a medium also?
I do.
When do you know? Does it automatically just go to animals always or not always?
Not always. I feel like when I'm working with a client, I say my forte is, or my, and I do animal communication. I also read for humans as well. I think, again, I just trust what comes through. I think that different teachers will teach you different methods, but I think that working with someone like Tony Stockwell, I think he's very innovative, and he has just allowed, because he's been a mentor for so many years, he's just allowed me to be me. There's no, I'm not in a box. I'm going to, how I read for someone is, show me a picture, tell me their name and what gender. And it's interesting, people would say, well, why are you asking for a gender? Some fur babies will tell me that they may feel more male, more female, or they feel across the spectrum, So it's really neat. I never, again, but you have this feeling and you ask the question and then you go from there.
Yeah, I like that. Do you believe animals carry emotions like grief, forgiveness, and loyalty, or even protectiveness like people do?
Oh, hands down. And it's so interesting that you've asked this question, because I am writing an article. There is a new age bookstore here in Ann Arbor called the Crazy Wisdom Bookstore, and they have a journal. And they've asked me to write an article for the fall. And the title of the article is Can Animals Feel Love, Grief, and Joy? And yes, without a doubt.
I'll have you know, every time I am on Zoom or with somebody like this, my cat always comes in. So if you hear my cat crying, that's just
It's totally fine. It's that energy of I want to be with you, and who are you talking to, Mom?
And who are you talking to besides me? Because it's exactly right about that. Just so funny. So we know that people struggle deeply after losing an animal companion.
Yes.
What do you think that grief can? It's so profound as much as humans. And what do you do with that grief? What do you tell people?
First, I give them my condolences. And two, I allow them to be where they are. And I get it, like some people they'll say, oh, when you're doing a reading, you shouldn't cry with your client or whatnot. But that's not me. If the energy is coming through and there are tears, especially when I'm in trance and if I'm doing a reading. So there have been times where people have contacted me and they are on the cusp of, do I let my fur baby go, or do I help in that transition, or do I just let them, take their own time? And there have been times where I'll hear a song, I did it my way. And, that's just a gentle reminder to the fur parent that they'd really like to transition on their own. But I think because of that relationship between fur baby and fur parent, that parent may feel, because you encourage your client, you've got to trust your intuition. Like, I can give you information, but you take what you need and you leave the rest. So if that fur parent is like, I really need to do this, then they're listening to their spirit and allowing for that transition to be a little faster, because they don't want their fur baby to be in pain. And I think that one just has to honor that. I know it's tough, because they'll ask, did I do the right thing? And right away I will say yes, because that's the right thing. Again, it's all going to come from one's belief. And I feel that souls come to earth, be it in animal form, in plant form, in human form, whatever it is, to experience something. And really, who are we to judge?
And there's something to be said, I think, with animals and that unconditional love.
Yes.
To have to let that go. There's something very deep and strong about that unconditional love connection with animals.
Oh, yeah. I think that one has to remember too, that animals, like humans, you're going to have your brain, you're going to have your nerves, you're going to have the hormones, the oxytocin, the love hormone, the dopamine. This is, I feel good. The cortisol, the stress. Those are hormones that are in your fur babies as well. So yeah. Will they feel happiness and joy, the dopamine, when you're home and you're having fun and you're playing? Are they going to feel stress when you walk out that door? Yep.
Yeah. So I love that you call yourself the Rainbow Bridge Medium. What does the Rainbow Bridge mean to you personally?
Well, it's so interesting that you bring that up, because I am in a position right now where I'm actually beginning to think about rebranding myself. And I think when I started, it wasn't a name that I came up by myself. It was Tony. Tony said to me, I think I see this. And then I went to find the domain name and it was there. And I was like, okay, this is for me. And so I've just taken it, and it's been beautiful. I think that when you hear those words, you just kind of know that this is the person that's going to speak to you about your fur baby. Did they cross over okay? All of those things. Moving forward, I'm just going to be intuitive Dr. H, so I can encompass more humans and still have, my niche is animal communication. Like, I know that I'm here for that. I can't change that. I am a translator. It is interesting because sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I spoke another language. Yeah, it's telepathy, and it's cat, and it's dog, and it's horse. That's me. I can't change it, wouldn't change it. I'm there for them. I'm there for humans as well. But I think my number one priority are the fur babies.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it does encompass it all. It encompasses it all, as does grief. And you are a grief specialist. How do you help people move through their own pain of grief?
Yeah, I think with that, it's when you are, especially when it comes to channeling, I think that it's such a beautiful way to pass on, to have that message go to the fur parent. For me, I use a timer. I practice every morning, pretty much every morning, to go into trance. The beeper takes me in and the beeper brings me out. And so when I'm working with someone, I can do a verbal reading, I could do an email reading, and then I could do a trance channeling reading. And I love those because I'm sitting down having a cappuccino. I've put the timer on and allow that fur baby to come in and to speak to their parent and to tell them what they need, what they want to share with their parent. Transition was okay. I met your mom when, she was there when I crossed over. And all of those things. And I think that's the power of, trance channeling for me as a practitioner, because I am a thinker. I think all the time. But when I'm in that state, there is no thinking. There is just being present and allowing the words, the energy to come through. And I'm just very honored to be able to do that. I encourage everyone to try trance channeling. And
what would you explain to people the difference between trance channeling and a deep meditative state is?
For me, I see them, that's how my deep meditation is. I go into trance. I think because that's just the natural progression for my brain. When I do deep meditation, I will start swaying. I will go into trance. So I have to literally kind of be present to bring myself back. But in trance channeling, I just allow everything to come forth. Like if I sing, if I hum, if I growl, if I bark, if I hiss. I know the first time that happened and Tony saw me, he was like, interesting, and you just get to a point where you're like, this is who I am. People are going to judge me, but I'm not changing it. And I think that really stems or connects my desire to motivate women, because we have been judged for so long. So you might as well just be yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Oh my goodness. Told you, he hears your voice. He must be.
Hi, Charlotte.
So I'm sure you believe that animals energetically stay around just like the humans that cross over. Would the energy be similar?
For me, so when I tap into a fur baby's energy, I think I feel it the same, right? Because of my background, I come from a Hindu background, so I believe in reincarnation, and this isn't everyone's jam, and that's totally fine. But when I feel what they're telling me, showing me, I will see that if a fur baby has crossed over, sometimes they just want to be in the form. They want to still be in their dog form, their cat form. I have seen others that are pure light, that have just gone back truly to their angelic alien self, and there are times where I know that fur baby on the other side is ready to come back, not to their parent, their former parent, coming back as a larger animal. Sometimes I've had little cats come back as a tiger. And again, that is really from someone's belief system, whether they take that information or not. As Lisa Williams says, I can't change it. I have to just share. So,
right. Yeah, I like that. Interesting. Has there been specific animals that you've felt more connected to than others?
Yes, horses.
Why horses?
Good question. Good question. One of my girlfriends who does astrology, she said it's probably because you're a Sag, half human, half horse. Um, yeah, so we kind of chuckle about that. But my feeling is that I listen, and everyone's gonna be like, "Woo, she is totally woo woo," right? I feel like at one time in one of my past lives, I was a horse. Oh, I just got a chill, because it's so natural for me. I see this horse, I feel this horse. You just have to show me a picture. You just have to tell me a name, and I will tell you about this beautiful, majestic creature. Everything. Oh,
I interviewed a friend of mine, Ashley, and she has a horse retreat and swears, that horses are highly intelligent,
oh yeah,
highly intuitive, and are such healing animals,
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's makes sense to me that would be the one you would connect to most. For sure.
Yeah. It's really amazing. So years ago when I discovered it, a person in the audience, like I'll do these gallery readings. And so a gallery for me is where I try to make it a little funny. So I'll pull somebody's name out and then I'll say, okay, please show me a picture of your fur baby and the name. And then I'll do the quick reading. And her name was Julie. And she was so amazing. Because I was reading for her dog. And she says, have you ever read for a horse? I'm like, no, but I'll try. And then she became a mentor for me for about a year, where she was affiliated with a farm, like a rescue farm. And so I read for goats and pigs and horses, and it was the best experience of my life. And I know intuitively that this is what I would love to do full time, to be this intuitive medium where I one day speak with, the fur parents, and the next day I'm going to a large auditorium speaking to thousands of women. It's all soul beings that I'm working with from my perspective.
Manifestation.
Yeah, I'm manifesting.
So do you have a funny animal moment, communication moment?
Oh gosh. So one of the things that is, so through one of my galleries, fur parents are hilarious actually. So I remember, I can't remember her name, but I know she had a dog. And then I was feeling into both of them. And I said, when you collect your dog's poop, you look through it and you smell it and you want to make sure everything's okay. She paused and then started laughing because she's like, yes, right. It was so amazing, that you could connect with her and her animal companion on that level. And because that just shows you love, right? So I don't see that any different as a mom, smelling a baby's like diaper, like, oh, have you pooped, have you peed, right? Or, oh, let me, take care of your nose, you've got a runny nose, or anything like that. But I think that, again, through the years of my academic training, the fact that I'm not a vet tech, but I still know I can still feel these things. The fact that I did massage therapy, again, I can feel it on my hands, I can feel it in my legs. I just think that has been powerful to be able to translate that knowledge to be able to help the animals.
Yeah.
That's just been amazing.
I love that. So when did you first learn about Lilydale?
Oh my gosh, I've heard about Lilydale, and it always seemed like a part of one's North Star. Like if you are in this space, because it's a very special community. Like as a woman and as a woman of color, I've always tried to, and then, then on top of that, you throw in you're an intuitive medium. You're like, oh man, where do you belong, girl? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it was a dream, and I just thought, oh, I can't, they're not going to accept me. And I had some girlfriends that encouraged me and said, just apply. And so the first time I applied was in 2025, and it was for my first animal communication level 1. And
you're talking about to teach, first applied to teach?
Yeah, to teach. Yeah, that was the only thing that I thought, that I was like, oh, okay, we'll try this. And when it was accepted, I was like, wow. Like, you're just like me. But I'll tell you.
Oh, and that was the first time you came to Lilydale then?
It was the first time I came to Lilydale, the first time that I was teaching, and I was in the assembly hall.
Yep.
And it was so beautiful. And there are
you
pictures.
Saw Janet's picture there.
Yes, I saw Janet's picture and Mavis Patilla.
Mavis Patilla, yeah.
Mavis Patilla was one of my mentors. And I tell you, I just knew they were looking out for me, because we had a break and I was walking outside and I could literally feel Janet beside me. Oh, I just got a chill. And it's not like I was her bestie or anything like that. I was just like a regular intuitive medium going to her space. But the fact that I was in a room with both of their pictures, and I just thought, this is where I
love that.
Yeah, it's where I'm meant to be. So it's such a great place. Everyone was so friendly, and I was nervous. I was so nervous, but the people that came to my class were wonderful. Oh my goodness. Like, first time teacher, I do teach like regular academic things. And so I had the agenda and I had handouts and all of those things. And then when you're in class and you really allow yourself to embrace the energy that's all around you, it's so rich. You're like, I have my agenda, but also, what does my intuition say? It says to try this. But yeah, I had some really great reviews. The people were just incredible. So yeah.
And how did you like the energy coming through the gate?
You know what? It was really funny. I didn't feel, I was so concerned about, am I in the right place? Is this the right entrance? I think I was more in my muggle brain than anything else. But the energy that I felt was really palpable was when I was in the assembly hall. That's when it was like, that's when it hit me. I was like, whoa, I'm a part of history. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
No, it's very strong energy in the assembly hall for sure.
Yeah, I love it there. Absolutely.
And then all of our pioneers all around the walls, like they're all staring at you, right?
Right. Yeah. It was, yeah. And the fact that Lilydale has volunteers that help you, I thought that was so nice, like such a blessing, because you're new, you don't know what to do, but that was my experience anyway. So
did you know about the women's suffrage movement here in Lilydale? Were you familiar?
I did not.
Oh, so that is important.
Yeah. Again, there's so much history that you just, like, all I knew was that Lilydale was the first intuitive mediumship center place for others like me that could go and create community. And, as someone who's very much into culture and inclusion, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah. So what will you be teaching this? You're accepted again. Oh, can we clarify, you're in New Jersey, right?
No, I'm actually in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know why I said New Jersey.
No. But before, I was out in Boston. I used to live in Boston for like 20 years.
So I keep hearing all these different accents coming out.
Oh, yeah. And then we moved. Yeah. Home was Toronto. And then we went to Boston. I went to Boston for school. And then
that's why you said you grad. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. But funny thing is, I told my mom when I was in Toronto, I said, I'm going to meet my partner in Boston. And she's like, oh, all right, whatever. Right. Lo and behold, I have met my Midwestern guy. And then now he's brought me out to Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah. So it's all good. Yeah.
So you've been accepted to come to Lilydale again this summer. Yeah. And what will you be teaching this summer?
Oh, I'm so excited. So it's interesting because this time I was braver, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to do an event, and I'm going to give, I'm going to put down 2 levels for animal communication, me not knowing, because I'm thinking they're going to take 1, right? But because the universe is so amazing, Lilydale has accepted all 3. They accepted all 3 of my applications. And so on July 1st, from 7 to 8:30, my talk it's a gallery event, and it's called Positively Brilliant Insights.
Of course it is.
They're both bridge medium. So yeah, like paws is in like your animal paws. And I'm really looking. Sorry, please.
That's clever.
Thanks. Yeah, writing is my
Yeah.
jam. That and telling jokes. Sometimes the jokes fall flat, but it's all good, right? What I'm so excited about that gallery because it's the first part of it is going to be where you can ask any question like, how does it work? What do you feel? Like I was thinking more like left brain logical types of questions because I think that's still very important when you're doing this work. It is about sharing your knowledge. Again, I'm not there to change someone's belief system, not at all. I am only there to share my experience and to share what I have gone through. And then the latter part of the presentation or the event will be I want people to bring things that, whether it's a picture or a leash or something that I can hold on to. And then, so using some psychometry work and to be able to then do a reading that way. I am thinking that if I feel that I need to do some trance work to give a message to the entire, I say team, then I shall do that as well. But I'm really just going to trust when I walk in there. Yeah. So, and then the other 2 days, July 2nd and 3rd, I'm doing a level 1 and a level 2 animal communication. And the first one, you don't have to, level 1, you don't have to have any kind of intense intuitive training. Some would be great, but it's not a big deal because it's a whole day with us, with me, you know what I mean? So we'll go through. First, it's for me, my perspective is making sure that we are comfortable reading humans. And then it's like a beautiful layered cake. And then we start working with, again, our fur babies. And then the second day is just more fur baby work with some psychometry, with, just bringing in different tools so my student feels more comfortable. And, again, even if I haven't seen the fur baby, I just show me a picture, tell me the name, and I will share that. But I'm also going to create cases for them to be able to tell me about the animal. So I'm really looking forward to it. So
it sounds really fun and interesting for sure. And I love working with psychometry. It's a great way to feel the energy and get
yeah. And I think also too, because what's going to be nice is that on the first day, and even on the second day as well, I can tap into my student to be able to say, this is what I feel in terms of not necessarily being having an assessment done, but I can tell, I think, what's your strength? What is it that, that will work really well for you? I still think like anything, learning to write, maybe this is old school, learning your alphabet, you know what I mean? And then putting your sentences and your paragraphs together and punctuation. But I think that's all changing with like Copilot and Chat GPT. So take that as you can.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I hope people will sign up. They can register right now. That is all on the website. The registrations are open. Your events have been posted on the page. So let people sign up for that.
I'm so excited. And it'll be just fun. There's no judgment. You're there to create community. We crack a joke. You learn more about you, and that's power.
Yeah, that's power. Learning is power. I agree. Yeah, so I like to end with this question that I like to ask my guests. What is the most important thing you have learned on your spiritual journey?
Trust. The trust in my skills. Hands down. I think that when I was growing up, like so many others, I didn't know I was an intuitive medium. Like I just didn't, and I got teased, about being so sensitive that I would cry. And what happened was one day I had purchased a secondhand standard vehicle. And I wanted to know how to drive stick, kind of just one of those things. And in that vehicle, I could smell alcohol. But I'm telling you, I clean, like I'm obsessed with cleaning. So I cleaned this vehicle. I knew it was clean, but I could smell alcohol in the vehicle. And I just said to my mom, I think there's someone in my car. And so the next time I smelled that, and I said, thank you for being here, but you have to go. And then I didn't, and then again, and then when we started trying to have a baby, I went back to my roots to be like, because I'm from a spiritual family. I'm from, and my mom and dad are both very intuitive. But coming to the States really made the difference, because I didn't know that you could go and take a class on how to be a great psychic or to be a medium. And I think that just changed my life. But yeah, so if I can inspire someone else to realize that, you know what, you got this. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And can you remind everybody how to find you on your website again?
Yes. So I'm going to actually give you the new website. It's going to be intuitive, one word, Dr. H, no period. So drh.com. And so that will be launched in the next couple weeks, but the Rainbow Bridge is still up. But it'll eventually direct you to the new website. So, but yeah, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, all of those things. If you're just looking for authentic insights, Dr. H. But yeah, the rebranding process is real.
So because the doctor is in.
The doctor is in. Yeah, that was from a very good girlfriend of mine. That was when I had passed my my exam. So
that's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah. So it's lovely. So.
Well, you've been lovely, and thank you so much for joining me today, for sure, Sushma. I hope people will sign up for your classes, and I look forward to seeing you here in Lilydale this summer. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you in person. It's going to be great.
And thank you all for joining us this evening. I'll be back again in 2 weeks for another episode of Enlightening Your Way. Make sure and check back on the official Lilydale Assembly Facebook page for everything going on in Lilydale. Like I said, all the events are up and running. We have a brand new website that has been launched, and it's beautiful. It's easy to navigate. So make sure and check that out. And you can register for any of the upcoming workshops, pre-season, during season, post-season. It's all up and going. So hope you will look into that. My Facebook page, Wellness with Nancy Lombardo. My Instagram, nancy.k.lombardo, where my motto is protecting and serving your well-being. My name is Nancy Lombardo. Thank you, Sushma, for joining us this evening. Thank you all very much, and good evening.